Spanning the globe to bring you the constant variety of art. It's the Tenet Podcast. I'm Todd Pearson, coming to you from the 40 West Arts District here in Lakewood, Colorado. And joining me from his art bunker in Rapid City, South Dakota, you know him as quite possibly the most interesting man in the world, co-host extraordinaire, Wes Brown.
Todd, how you doing, my friend? Oh my God, it's another week, and I'm here to make your dreams come true and your fantasies to come alive. So here, how you doing, my friend?
I feel kind of queasy.
All right.
But we won't go there.
That's not.
Okay. Oh. If only our listeners could be party to the behind the scenes, right? You keep saying that we got to do
only fans page. Only fans page.
And I'm going to leave that up to you.
Okay.
Of all your new ideas that you have for the podcast in the coming year, there's one of them right there.
Got to give something for the loyal listeners that want to send us some money, some Patreon,
Patreon clams.
Yeah,
money.
Bet. Yeah, I mean it's working for a lot of the ladies I see. So, well, I don't see them, but I see that a lot of ladies.
You better backtrack on that, buddy.
Anyway, welcome to the 21st century, and it's a Wild West show now with technology and AI and everything. It's a Wild West show.
I know. And you're a voyeur of the technology. You know,
I am a voyeur.
You have your finger on the pulse of what's going on. So I appreciate that.
From ChatGPT to TikTok to, yeah.
I know. You're the AI guy.
I don't know about that.
You are.
Maybe of the two of us, I'm the AI guy.
And I still haven't looked at the TikTok thing that you sent me a while back.
Oh, it's no big deal. It's this band that is a cover band of Rush. And it's a girl that does the vocals, and she was killing it. And I was just like, and when I saw that, I thought of you because the last concert you and I went to was Rush. And so I saw that, you know, obviously the music was great. And then she kicked into it and I was like, holy crap, this is awesome. I love it. Brought a smile to my face, thought of you like many times when I was smile, and I shot it to you. So.
Well, I will have to, because I don't know how to get into my TikTok. That's how TikTok.
You think you're older
illiterate
than me.
That I am.
Yeah, well, that's all right. I think that's fine. There's nothing.
I'll have one of my kids show it to me.
There you go. I'll send it from Kyra from now on.
I'll be that guy. There you go. Kyra, because I see her more often than my son. So, and just so you know, I've heard rumor that Getty and Alex may try to do something.
No way.
In the near future. Yep.
Wow.
They both have been doing like little solo side projects, and wouldn't that be spectacular?
That would be incredible. I'd love to go see that too.
Yeah. You did see that they got together with the whole South Park boys at Red Rocks this
I did
summer,
not.
Right? Yeah.
I did not see that.
Look that up on YouTube or
I'll
whatever.
do that. All right. I'll write that
Being
down
the Rush fan that you are.
I love Rush.
Let's get into some art.
Let's do some art. I'm excited.
Unless you want to talk more about Rush.
Well, we could talk Rush. We can make it the Rush podcast. Rush all the time, 24/7.
We should do an episode. Maybe we should get Getty and Alex on. I think
I'd
Alex
be happy
paints.
if I could get one of them on. That would be awesome.
I think Alex might paint. I'll have to do some research.
Well, we could talk about music videos and that visual art.
But I think they have their own beer, but I think he's been producing paintings. I think he's a painter. So,
all right. I'll have to look that up.
Yeah. That would be
they're
cool.
amazing. Yep. I love it.
My gateway band from back in the day.
Yeah, no doubt. They were, well, obviously I grew up in the heyday of Rush. So I was always waiting for the next album to come out.
All right, let's get to it. We are 2 days away from Art and Ag 2023. Are you excited, Wes Brown?
I am excited. I'm sitting there writing a note and you ask me if I'm excited. Of course I'm excited.
Well, good, because I'm excited. I am bubbling over with excitement. It's the Fleischer Family Farm in conjunction with the Tenet Podcast. We are presenting a one-day art event Saturday, September 9th. That's this coming Saturday from 10 to 5. Come join us at the farm located at 2005 South Zephyr Court in Lakewood, Colorado, in the heart of the Southern Gables neighborhood. Come check out this wonderful family-run organic farm. Buy some farm fresh produce, take in and take home some beautiful art, and support local artists. You can find the details and the roster of artists on our social media and on our website, tenantpodcast.com. And be sure to visit the Fleischer Family Farm website at fleischerfamilyfarm.com. And you can also find them on Facebook and Instagram at the Fleischer Family Farm. That's where they post what they have available that week for their Saturday market, which is what we are part of at this coming weekend. Also want to give a shout out to Tonette Brown, Wes's wife, for keeping our website up to date with all of our events and all of our episodes. So if you need some kind of design or web work, don't hesitate to reach out to Wes or his wife, Tonette. I think her information is on the website, but if not,
I think so. If not, they can contact me. I can get it to her.
Our next interview has become an annual tradition. Our guest this week is joining us for the fourth time, numero cuatro.
He's numero uno in my book.
I concur. You can check out his work at his website, topherstraus.com, and you can follow him on Instagram at Creative Topher. Topher Straus, how the heck are you?
I am doing so good. It's such an honor to be back and to hear you guys talking. And yeah, life's been good. Life's been good. You know, we actually all started our journey around the same time. As I started my career, that was right when I was on your show for the first time. So it's been an amazing journey, and I very much think of you guys as part of that journey. So.
Well, we're always happy to have you on. And, you know, you always bring a lot of insight into the world of art and the way that you go about it. So we always appreciate you coming on and sharing your experience and getting us up to date of what you've been doing since last time we talked a year ago.
Yeah, and I think you bring all sorts of value to these episodes. So once again, I appreciate it as well.
It is a love fest here today.
It's always a love fest. Yeah. As we start this off, because we constantly are getting new followers on our Instagram and people listening to us from all over the world. And if this is the first time that they're listening to you, obviously they can go back and look at the previous episodes and listen. Actually, it'd be really interesting if you want to do something really interesting, go back and start at the first time that we had Topher on and listen to each segment, each episode, year after year, and to see this progression. But what I want you to do to start off is I want you to tell our listeners that are just tuning in for the first time what you do as an artist and a little bit about your process.
So I'm heavily inspired by nature, nature and experience. So that's a big part of my art. It's a big part of my life. And what I've done is I have crafted my life around things that I love most. So I'm a landscape painter. I immerse myself in environments, and I do really interesting, unique interpretations of the nature that I'm in, whether it be national parks or ski resorts or ocean paintings, which I'm doing a lot of right now. You know, for me, it's not just about the painting, it's also about the experience, and the experience comes out in every stroke. So I interpret things differently. I am new to the art game, relatively new. I'm just in it for about 5 years, and I feel very blessed to be an artist and to see things so differently. And so that's what I do is I interpret nature. And my goal as an artist is for the people that view my art, I want them to see themselves in my nature, to get out and to help protect this amazing environment that we live in.
This is digital art. And I guess I didn't realize that you did this, but you actually go in, maybe we discussed this before, but you actually immerse yourself inside these pieces that you're painting digitally. Is that correct?
That's correct. And that's a relatively new thing that I've done perhaps I was not doing it because the technology was not totally available when we last spoke. But listen, my background, I worked for Apple. I worked for Electronic Arts. Technology is very much at the core of who I am. And so as technology like evolves, I try to embrace it and try to figure out cool ways to create art. So now what I'm doing, because I do create my work on the computer, when it's to the very final stage, I actually put on a pair of VR goggles and I immerse myself in the painting, and it's like 80 foot tall. It's crazy, and I see like any imperfections or any changes that need to be done, how I'm feeling in my painting, and then I do this dance where I take my headset off and I make changes, and then I go back into the virtual world, and it's like just the most fun part of the painting.
It sounds fun. And I guess, yeah, I couldn't remember if we talked about this before, but I had seen and you talking about this VR headset that you have. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't know he did that.
Yeah. And, we've got this new technology coming out very soon from Apple called augmented reality, which for sure I'm going to be embracing. And I think as an artist, like we should always be trying to change things up, like either whether it's in our process or in terms of, the substrates we're using or any of that. So I'm always looking to evolve, and I think it makes my art richer because it's all part of that experience that we were just talking about, right?
Yeah. So my question is, in this AR kind of trip, do you allow your patrons to go in and into your paintings, or is this something that just you do to create your artwork?
So Wes, when I do studio tours, or particularly when I do a commission, and we can talk about the commission process because I do things a lot different than most artists, but when I do a commission, the collector is very much a part of the process. So I just wrapped up on a commission and I involve my collectors in the painting process. So the collectors actually immersed myself in the world and they loved it. It's not something that I do, just with everyone, because it's hard to set up and it's very much part of my own personal process. But for the commission process, it's really cool to do that. So.
Yeah, because I think it would be interesting to go into the painting and walk around, because I know it's like you can do all sorts of weird stuff with it, and just to experience something, because I've never done augmented reality, so I'm really kind of interested in it, but I don't know anybody that actually lives where I live that's doing this. So I just find it really fascinating, the whole process and everything.
Well, when AR comes out, and I am a developer for Apple, I might start producing some AR augmented reality based art. But it is super cool. We're right at the cusp of all this amazing technology. And as an artist, it's our role to explore and push the boundaries of what we can do.
So is Apple aware of how you utilize this technology at the moment and your painting?
Apple is not, but Adobe is definitely aware of what I'm doing. And I'm currently not using the Apple Reality Pro device that's going to be coming out in 2024, but you bet I'm going to be one of the first people to have it. So
I have a picture of you pulled up with your whole setup. You have a standing desk, you have your Wacom tablet, and your VR headset, and then a treadmill.
Yes.
Is that just to keep you keep moving? Because you're not a guy that really sits still. And so it is actually kind of hard for me to wrap my head around you standing in front of a computer for hours on end, creating your masterpieces, right?
Well, Todd, my work itself is super meticulous, and it's has to be done with perfect lines. So when I'm producing the art, I'm not getting my 10,000 steps in a day. It's when I'm doing phone calls or when I'm responding to email or working on things that are not my art is when I'm doing my steps. But exercise for me is very much a fundamental part of who I am and my art. So I'm always working, man. There's also a big water-gallon jug bottle on the top of the desk, and it's a fine balance of getting my steps in and taking pee breaks. But water is important too.
I lean more to pee breaks than I do getting steps in.
Oh man, I know that you're always on the go, or you like to be on the go, and you do a lot of traveling. When you reached out to us to schedule this year's interview, you were in Hawaii. You love Hawaii, and you were there during these crazy fires on Maui. Is that correct?
Yeah. I flew in. Oliver and I had a window of time before school started, and I decided on a whim, like, Maui is where my heart and soul is. Like, I love Colorado and Maui, and I split my time between the two places. So we decided to venture Maui on a whim, and literally we flew in the day the fire started. We had no idea when we took off, and when we landed, it was Hurricane Dora's winds were about 80 miles per hour. From our descent into Maui, we saw big plumes of smoke all over the island, and we felt the power of the wind. It was the kind of landing. When you landed, everyone on the damn plane clapped because we made it safely. And when we arrived, I was actually supposed to be picked up by some friends, and we were going to be going to the Lahaina side. And thankfully, I was like, we've had a long day, and that was a hell of a flight. We're just going to go to South Maui, where we're staying, and take it easy. And as the day progressed, it got worse and worse and more surreal. And as nightfall came, we started really smelling the smoke, and I put my son to bed, and I stayed up all night watching the glow of the fires in Kihei, and was ready to evacuate. Where to, I don't know. But the next morning we woke up, or Oliver woke up, and the pain and suffering that happened and that will continue to happen for a long, long time in Maui is beyond comprehension. The stories of my friends losing their houses, and I was meeting with a gallery that burnt down in Lahaina, and the lives that were lost, and my friends who pulled people from the ocean that was the only place for them to escape. They pulled them from the ocean. And I mean, the stories that I heard were just heart-wrenching. So we knew we had to get off the island to give the island time to heal and the resources to the people. It was hard to get off of Maui, but we got off in 4 days, and it was really a surreal time to be there. Being that Hawaii means so much to me, and especially Maui, I'm doing everything I can to help the people recover from this tragedy. So every one of my Maui paintings that sells, I'm donating $1,000 to a great foundation called the Maui Strong Fund that gives people the resources immediately. And I've donated personally money to Maui to the recovery efforts. My birthday's tomorrow, and my birthday kind of fundraiser is to raise money for the food bank on Maui. So, we all have to do our part. And this could happen in South Dakota. It could happen in Colorado. And it just happened to happen in Maui. And it was devastating and surreal. It changed so many people's lives overnight, and a lot of lives were lost.
Yeah. I mean, I can't even imagine. It's been years since I've been to Maui, but beautiful, beautiful island. To think that, pretty much Lahaina is completely gone, right? And 115 lives lost, I think, is what I saw at last count. I can't even imagine. It's going to take them years probably to recover from this kind of thing. And Hawaii is expensive, and it's not easy to get resources needed to rebuild. So they got a long journey ahead of them, I'd imagine.
Yeah, and we all need to do our role to help out Maui. And so there's a great organization for all the artists listening today. I think it's called Artists for Lahaina, and it's a pure donation, and they raffle off the paintings. I believe the application window might have closed, but if you're an artist, use your art to help the folks in Maui, and we all have to do our part because it's pretty devastating what happened beyond anything we can even imagine. And fortunately, like, it stopped in Lahaina. It could have been a lot worse. So,
yeah. Yeah. And it's weird. I mean, I lived in Hawaii twice, once as a, really, really young, and then as an adult. And I can't even imagine an island like that catching fire. It's, they get a fair amount of rainfall, and, it's not like Hawaii maybe, but yeah, it really blows my mind. I think of the West, or even like South Dakota and the prairie fires where we do have drought, but man, and I'd heard that they'd been suffering from some droughts, and then of course, the hurricane just was the key factor in all that. But man, yeah, you're right. It's heartbreaking to hear about this.
And unfortunately, it's going to become, more of a regular occurrence around the world as this climate thing continues to march on, and people are suffering in all different places. But it's crazy to think it could happen on some place, tropical like Maui, right?
It is. And I got back. We finally made it back. I was like, how do I express everything that happened? And so I spent the last 2 weeks working feverishly on a painting called Setting Sun it just got released, and it's based off of the sunset that I witnessed the night of the fires. And, as an artist, right, we gravitate to art to have a way to express ourselves. And so that's what this is about. It's about the beauty of the island and the force of nature, right?
Yeah.
It's a beautiful piece, man. Really, really nice.
Thank you.
And so this is part of that whole series that if someone was to go and purchase it, you're donating a portion of those proceeds to Maui Strong, correct?
So I'm working on another piece based off of my time in Hawaii, and my heart and my soul are very much still on Maui and focused on doing whatever I can do as an artist to help out the community that was so devastated by the wildfires.
Gotcha. That's awesome. Well, we know from talking to you previously, outside of this horrible event, that you're trying to help the people on Maui, that charity is a big part of who you are and what you do. It's part of your business model, is giving back to organizations that you feel strongly about. Talk about some of those charities that you support and donate to, and if there's anything new that you've been doing in the realm of charity with your work.
Mark Twain said that the two most important moments in life are when you're born and when you find your purpose. Well, I have found my purpose. My purpose is to help out my community, and I feel so blessed, guys, to be an artist and to be a successful artist. I really have worked hard at this, and I have so much support and so many wonderful collectors all around the world. But what keeps me going in the morning is waking up and knowing that there's people that I can help, and there's money that can be raised using my art. So just in this month of September, I just got back 2 days ago from Palisade, Colorado, where I released my second wine with Sauvage Spectrum Winery. For every bottle sold, we're providing 10 meals to Food Bank of the Rockies. And it's a limited edition wine. It's a kind of a kitchen sink wine. There's 7 different red wine blends in there. Predominantly, it's a Cab Franc blend, and it's a really wonderful bottle of wine. And so I was just down there at the launch party. It was really beautiful, and Food Bank of the Rockies was there, and so that's one way, right? Because as an artist, I have to be a little bit about merchandising my work. So when I do give my images in merchandise, it's for charities and helping with different programs. I have 3 other events this month. This is my biggest month of giving. In a couple days, I'm going to be auctioning off 2 paintings for Wings of Hope Foundation, which provides extremely important medical research funds for cutting edge research to help fight pancreatic cancer. 3 years ago, I was approached by Wings of Hope Pancreatic Cancer Research Foundation, and I had no idea what pancreatic cancer was. And I've been going to this foundation for this event, this gala, with Hazel Miller, and it's an amazing night. And I've been going there and learning more about what pancreatic cancer is and becoming a part of the community. And I've raised over $10,000 just for them alone. And this year, I've lost 2 people close to me from pancreatic cancer. And I've been touched. There's too many damn people that get this disease. And it's all cancers are bad, and pancreatic cancer is extremely horrible. So it's a real honor to be knowing that I'm able to use my art to help with this amazing research they're doing right now at CU Anschutz Medical Center. And I'm part of the family, guys. And now I understand the pain, unfortunately. I lost a mentor to pancreatic cancer. And so that's happening later next week. And then I'm also part of another organization that's called Holston's Hope, which is to a dear friend of mine lost her daughter. Her daughter took her own life, and Kim decided to celebrate her daughter and to create an organization that provides therapists with training on how to use animals in therapy. And there's suicide it's very prevalent and becoming more and more prevalent. And it's another unfortunate thing that I've been touched by personally and lost friends too. So that's another gala, and we're going to be auctioning off one painting. And then lastly, I'm part of an organization called Be Golden, which helps fight food insecurity in Golden. And I'm going to be emceeing an event for business leaders, and also we'll be auctioning off a painting. So that's 4 paintings just this month for these events, and then of course the thing in Hawaii to help raise funds for Maui. So it is a very big part of what I do, and the more success that I'm fortunate enough to have, the more I'll be doing.
I love that, man. I love that you give back so much. And, we talk to a lot of artists, and, there's a lot of people that donate and are involved in community. But I got to say that hands down, all these different organizations, charities that you help out, I just think it's spectacular. And I love how all in you go on this stuff.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I mean, when we talk about that, you are all in, and being part of their family is just proof in the pudding, right? That you not only do you give, but you care.
I think it's important to clarify something about what I'm doing, and to clarify it for not just the purpose of clarification, but also to encourage other artists to kind of do what I'm doing. My pieces cost a lot of money to fabricate, so I'm covering the cost of my work. And as artists, we, a lot of times artists are asked just to flat out give paintings away. And a lot of artists can't financially do that. So, I work it in that it's a win-win-win for everybody. So I get some money, and my costs are covered, and organization that I'm working with gets a really nice chunk of change as well. So as artists, we also have to make sure that we're surviving,
Yeah. Yeah, we've had this conversation many times, and I won't belabor the point, but you're absolutely right. These organizations have got to make sure that the artist gets paid, just as much as they want to raise the money. So, I mean, it's just like you said, it's a win-win. And if you're giving and giving, but you're not being able to cover your expenses, or you're just giving paintings away, that's not a sustainable relationship, I don't think.
No, it's not. And what's cool is on this 4th anniversary of our show together, I will have raised over $100,000 for various charities and organizations, mainly in Colorado. And that feels so good. Over $100,000.
That's amazing. That's absolutely
spectacular,
amazing,
man. Yeah. And I love that one of the, a couple of the charity organizations that you donate to and support are deal with food insecurity. I think it's a huge problem for a lot of people. And it's one of those things that people don't always see in our society and our community. So the fact that you give to those, I think that's, really fantastic. I have volunteered my time at various food banks over the years, and it's definitely something that, is near and dear to my heart. So the fact that you're donating to these charities, I love that, man.
Well, thanks. And it is exactly what you said, because I've actually done runs delivering food, and there's parts of my community that I grew up in that I had no idea existed, where people need help and need some, just a hand. And there's, I've lived in Golden, Colorado for such a long time, but there's pockets of even my own hometown that I knew never existed. And to deliver food or to set food outside of people's doors and to know that you're making a difference is not just making money, but helping out on the ground. It's awesome.
Yeah. And I think that's a good point to make. It's not just about giving money or giving away artwork, or it's simple, like volunteering. And, I know Todd's big into, food insecurities, and I do a lot of volunteer work over the past, since 2012 in civic education, and giving teachers the tools to teach students about civics. And it feels good when you have that opportunity to help out, and it doesn't have to involve money.
Right on. This is not just about art. This is about life. We haven't really touched on art yet, but art is life and life is art, right?
That's right.
That's right. And I know for you, there's really no separation, because I know that you've been asked the question of how do you balance, like family life and raising your son, and, the things that you do with your family and traveling with your art life. And for you, you've always expressed that it's all the same, that's all part of who you are and what you do.
It is. It's, my son, Oliver, who you guys have met before, he's still my CEO of my company, and he is even more hands-on than ever before. He gives me amazing suggestions on the paintings that I'm working on, and he helps me with social media. He gives me advice on how to deal with certain galleries. Like, the kid is amazing, and he's just an indispensable part of my business. So, as is being authentic to who I am and who he is. So
it's pretty fantastic that you're sharing this journey together, and he has a front seat to everything that you're experiencing and going through as an artist. And man, and he's an artist himself. So as he's starting his own career, man, he's going to be so far ahead of that curve, I think.
He is, and his paintings are going for about $500 to $1,000 right now. So he's selling paintings. I'm putting that right into a college fund. Although I did buy him some video game money, I let him have some of it for video game money. But his work is just getting more and more amazing, and it's very different than what I'm doing. And I love the kid so much, and I'm so proud of who he is and who he's becoming, and his individual voice, So.
Yeah, he's a great kid, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
When you see him, you'll have to tell him that we say hello.
I will. I'll see him in 2 days, so I can't wait to pick him up.
Right on. Hey, what changes or new things have you incorporated into your business model this past year? What new stuff have you gone, that's what I'm going to do?
Boy, that's a broad question.
It is pretty broad.
I'm going to write some shit out and formulate this. But, from a subject perspective, when we first started talking 4 years ago, I was primarily focused on just doing national parks, right? And the national parks started getting the attention of mountain galleries. And so I started getting into some amazing galleries and mountain communities and resort towns. And then I'm like, well, maybe I'll start doing some ski paintings. because I love getting on the mountain. And so, I have to do research. So I did a lot of ski paintings, and then like in the last year, I've been doing a lot of like ski town centric paintings. And now my focus is not only finishing up the national parks, because every year you ask me how many have I done? Well, I just finished Joshua Tree like this week, and that marks number 36, the national park. So I am more than halfway done. I'm trying to do about 12 a year, so we'll have some more gray hairs by the time I'm done. But yeah, and another thing that I'm doing that I'm so excited about, guys, is I'm doing a lot of international pieces. I just did a new triptych of Mount Everest that is really cool, and it's got a different kind of feel to it. And triptychs I did another triptych this year, which is the Grand Traverse, which is based off of Gore Lake in Vail, outside of Vail. And so I'm loving the triptych format, and I'm loving doing international pieces. I'm working on a whole new series based off of my experiences in Vietnam and Cambodia, which are going to be really different and figurative in nature. But I'm super excited about these paintings and incorporating some of the things that I experienced in wet markets or in Ha Long Bay. And so, yeah, it's like funny when I first started doing landscapes, I was pressured into doing them through a commission, and I turned down the commission over and over and over because I was doing other stuff. I was doing like whales in space and like giraffes with rockets out of their feet, very different work. And this guy had to pretty much like be tenacious and bribe me to do landscapes. And I'm like, I don't want to do landscapes. Well, guess what? Now I can't do enough. I love landscapes. They capture my heart and soul, and I'm always trying to continue and evolve and push the boundaries of how I interpret our nature while staying true to the visual style that's helped me to get to where I am.
How did your trip to Vietnam and Cambodia come about? And tell me the difference, because I've heard from other people. Tell me the difference between Vietnam and Cambodia from your experience.
Oh, wow. Okay. It was just the coolest damn trip I've ever been on in my life. I was enthralled and excited to go to Vietnam just for the reason of Ha Long Bay, which is a World Heritage Site. And I'm painting a lot of World Heritage sites now, and that's probably going to be very much the focus of the next evolution of my career once I get through the national parks, is World Heritage Sites. So I needed to experience Ha Long Bay, and I thought, well, I'll go out there and I'll paint it and spend some time there and travel around. And so I went from the top of Vietnam to Saigon, which is also known as Ho Chi Minh City. And I spent about 2 weeks in Vietnam traveling by train, by motorcycle, by airplane, by boat. It was like, I felt like Indiana Jones, guys. It was amazing. And then I'm like, well, shit, I might as well just check out Cambodia because I'm over here, right? And the whole catalyst for me doing this was not only that I wanted to like get some new subject matter to paint, it was also that my son Oliver was at camp for a whole month in Teton National Park. So I was like, I'm going to travel. So I go over to Vietnam, and I'm like, well, I'm going to check out Cambodia so I can go see Angkor Wat, which is another World Heritage Site. And it was all kind of centered around experiencing and painting. And so I went over to Cambodia, and I went to Siem Reap, which is where all the Wats are. And I just had the best time in Cambodia. And then I flew back to Da Nang and Hoi An and experienced the rest of Vietnam. How are the two countries different? They're diametrically opposite. I travel to Asia quite a bit. Asia's been a muse for a lot of my paintings. I've done a lot of Asian themed paintings, from a dragon parade to a painting called Father Son, which has Bruce Lee mural in it, and Chinese American culture. And so going to Vietnam and Southeast Asia and Cambodia was very different because it was a lot less refined than, say, Hong Kong or Shanghai. The people were just so lovely. They were amazing people. The food was delightful. I was so inspired by the art. So I sense, the problem with my life is there's not enough time for me to paint. If I couldn't sleep and I could paint all the time, I would. I love it that much. I'm so inspired still after my trip to Southeast Asia. It was awesome.
and the people are pretty friendly in lieu of the fact that we spent a few years there bombing the shit out of them.
So Wes, they don't call it the Vietnam War over there. They call it the American War. And, I'm not a history buff, but after going to Vietnam and learning about the history, it's definitely enhancing the paintings that I'm working on from the series. They were in a 1,000-year war with China. The American War, the Vietnam War, was just a little blip to them. Do they have animosity towards us? A little bit, but they're also grateful that we're coming back and we're putting money into their economy, especially after COVID. And the Cambodian peoples, speak a lot more English than the Vietnamese people, but some amazing, friendly people and such a different way of life.
Yeah. I've heard wonderful things about Vietnam and how open they are to Americans visiting and all that. And I've even seen it listed places for Americans to retire. So, I don't know what that's about, but but anyway, I just like Vietnam and Ho Chi Minh City. And I was like, oh my God, that would be interesting to retire in Vietnam,
Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful country, and to see the history in particular, and to go to the sites where, the U.S. was engaged and to see the kind of warfare that was fought. We live in an amazing world, and there's only so much time to travel and to paint, right? Time is precious.
It is. And we just don't have enough of it. I'm 60, I'm 61 and
no.
Yeah. And life has just flown by. And I felt like I've lived like 3 lifetimes in a certain aspect, but my God, there's just not enough time. There isn't, which is all the more reason that we need to be focused on being architects of our life, on doing what we love, supporting people we love and communities we love. And so that's what I'm in my third life, Wes. That's what I'm building my life around. Yeah. Well, it's amazing. And I'm like Todd, like we've alluded earlier, love spending time with you because you bring something. It's good to talk to you because you remind us of things that we need to be aware of, because you come with it with such enthusiasm. So it really hits home that, you're living a great life and it, and you're blessed and it. And it's infectious, man. It's infectious.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's about the best. So tomorrow's my birthday. I'm going to be 49 years old, and that's the best compliment I could have received. And it's a measure of where I'm at in life. And I couldn't be more grateful for you recognizing that and saying that. Thank you. I do feel blessed. And I want to admit, positivity and joy, because it's contagious.
It is,
So how do you go about working while you're taking these trips and traveling?
Well, here's a big change that's happened is I have been blessed to be in a lot of amazing galleries. In fact, I just got a new gallery yesterday, and the list is growing, and it's quite amazing galleries. I've been fortunate enough to sell enough paintings to be able to support a team of people now. I've got a team of people that I love and trust that support me in all aspects of my business. So the biggest difference, and hopefully you can see it in all my work, the biggest difference from last year to this year is that I now have complete focus of my art. That's all I do. I have fun and travel and make art. I've got people who are responsible for logistics and marketing and reaching out to galleries and editing my videos. And so I've got a team of amazing contractors that are helping me to focus in on what I can do best, which is paint paintings. Got a lot of people who are helping me out. It's cool.
So that is cool.
So when you were in Vietnam, and how are you approaching painting there? Are you taking lots of photos? Are you actually like maybe doing some plein air kind of stuff? How do you approach that?
Well, because I work on my computer, and because we have the ability to have laptops. I'm on the deck of a 3-story junk boat at 4 a.m. with my tablet and my pen and my computer, capturing the essence of the sunrise. And doing a little bit of new age plein air painting. And so I'm a nomadic artistic warrior, and I can travel the world with my canvas, and it's so cool. I've actually even traveled places with my VR headset. And when I get my Reality Pro, I'll be traveling with that too. So just throw it in a backpack. I travel light. I travel with a carry-on, and that's it, man.
Wow.
And my mantra for travel is I pack a bag wherever I'm going that I can carry on a plane, and I bring just a couple changes of clothes. I do take showers, but when I get to a place after I've worn the clothes, or even before I've worn the clothes, I will give them to homeless people who need clothes, and I'll go to the thrift store and I'll buy new cool clothes from Vietnam and rock those for my trip and bring those back. So travel light and travel with art.
It's amazing, man. I love it. I love it.
That's awesome. So back to my original question of things that you've changed in your business model this year. I mean, obviously you have the team in place. Are you doing anything different as far as marketing or advertising compared to last year?
Yeah. I do a lot of advertising, right? My background is really interesting and different, and is part of the reason that I have been successful as an artist. My background is advertising, film production, acting, making video games, working for Apple. All these things have made me a unique force in art. And so, from a marketing standpoint, I really do understand marketing, and I understand the value of advertising. So, up until this year, I've been advertising in various local magazines within the state of Colorado. Sometimes I've done a national ad in Condé Nast or in Architectural Digest. But the newest thing that I'm doing is I'm going to be doing some more targeted online ads, and in every Four Seasons hotel magazine globally.
Wow.
So I was in Hoi An, and I stopped in the Four Seasons and saw myself in the magazine, which was cool to see that in Vietnam. But listen, as artists, there's so many artists out there, and not only should we be unique in our presentation and our style, but we should get loud with our advertising, I think, because that's the only way people are going to hear about you. So I do that on my Instagram. I'm very vocal. I am my own brand.
And you do it incredibly well.
Well, thank you.
You just had your second solo show, Happy Places, at the Vail International Gallery this past July. How did that go?
That was so cool. I couldn't have been more proud of that show. Not just because the guys, Mark and Pat at Vail International, are just some of the most knowledgeable, amazing people in the Colorado art scene. They've become really dear friends and great advisors. And every step of my art career, I asked them, hey, should I do this? Should I not do that? The show itself was full of so much cool, amazing art. And they wanted me to take a chance and to show some of my older art that had not been seen in the gallery spaces. painting called First Class that became extremely popular. It's one of the most popular paintings of the show, and it's the interior of a 747 done in a very kind of like trippy, funky, psychedelic way. And that was super popular. I think we sold like 3 or 4 of those during the show. And that was a tribute to my mom, who was a flight attendant for United Airlines for 42 years. And so to have the opportunity to show, that painting and other paintings that were not my traditional landscapes was a risk that Vail International took that paid awesome dividends. And then to do a painting that they really wanted me to do, a Piney Lake, and the work there was really good. And this Piney Lake piece it's called the Grand Traverse. And I think it's my best landscape. And the story behind it's really interesting because 2 weeks before the date when the piece had to be fabricated, we all looked at kind of where the painting was at and decided it was not working. So I threw it away completely and I started anew. And this is a triptych. This is a 120 by 60 inch painting. And I threw it away and I asked them to describe the emotions that I wanted this paint, we all thought this painting should emit. And they said it should exude optimism. So I worked on it feverishly, and it's I think my best work. It's a stunning painting, and it does emit optimism. So I was so proud of that show. I love being a part of that gallery. The artists that they represent are phenomenal. It's a real honor.
That is a beautiful piece. It really goes along with the theme, the title of the show, Happy Places, because I look at that piece and it makes me happy. The color palette and, subject, it's just, yeah, it's nice.
Thank you.
So where can people find it on your website? Do you know where that's at, Todd? Just so people can go to it?
Yeah. So I'm not pulling up work right now just because we're having internet issues. But if you just go into the new work, you'll find that piece in there. So,
or there's even a search bar up at the top, and you can just search for Grand Traverse.
There you go.
But I do 2 paintings a month. 2 paintings a month. I'm feverish in how I produce.
And you unveiled another new piece at the show as well. Is that correct? The bells?
The bells. Yeah, the bells. Wow. That's crazy. So the bells is by far my most popular painting, the quickest selling painting I've done to date. It's the second interpretation of Aspen's maroon bells that I've done, and it's more than half sold out. The way that I structure my business is I have limited editions, 40 limited editions, and 10 special editions, which are bigger than limited editions, and then 1 original. So I've sold 25 of the limited editions and the original and 3 special editions. So this time next year, I guarantee the bells will be completely sold out. And then another thing that's happened in the last year since we've talked that's super exciting is now I have a secondary market going on. So my first interpretation of the maroon bells, called the maroon bells, has been sold out. And you haven't been able to do it because when I'm done with a series, it's done forever. And now those paintings are going for quite a bit more money if people sell them. So I've sold 2 on the aftermarket, the secondary market, for 4 times what they originally went for. And people just do not want to get rid of their paintings when they sell out because it's a good investment.
That's amazing. I do love the bells. This one is absolutely phenomenal. I love the way you have the mountains lit in your painting.
Thank you.
It's amazing. And then the blue sky above it is just like, blue is my color, as you can tell. And wow, it is radiant. I love it.
And it's on aluminum. It's on a metal substrate with a shiny finish. So it looks completely different in person. Yeah. You both have seen my work in person, so you can attest to that. And there's one thing, Wes, if you look in the sky, what do you see?
Yeah, there's a little white dot there.
That's a star. And so although my work is landscapes, there's stories behind each of my pieces. And the story behind that is that I was fortunate enough to meet a wonderful family, Peggy and Peter Nelson, who bought my first Maroon Bells piece. And they wrote me a lovely card that made me cry about losing their son's life while he was climbing Maroon Bells, and how much the painting meant to them, and how they've been looking for a portrayal of Maroon Bells for a long time since he passed away. And the card was beautiful. I still have it in my office up on my desk, because it's those kind of moments that really matter, when you have that connection and when your art touches people and makes them feel something. And so I was doing an artist talk at my Winter Park, Colorado gallery, Up Tripping, and Peggy and Peter introduced themselves to me, and we really connected immediately. And I decided that I needed to do a tribute to Spencer Nelson, their son. And so that's what that star is about. It's a tribute to not only Spencer Nelson, but to this life that we're all living right now, and the importance of it, the power of nature. And so, people can look and say, oh, that Maroon Bells piece is beautiful, but there's also, you can go to it as deeply as you want, and that's my work, because of my background being a filmmaker and a storyteller. I want my paintings to tell stories as well.
Yeah.
So that's what it is.
It's beautiful.
It's a tribute to him.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You've met some amazing people.
Yeah, I really have. I really feel blessed. I'm friends with so many of my collectors. They're, I'm friends with them because they're supporting my dream, being an artist. Also because a certain type gravitates to my work. The people that love the outdoors, and love nature, and celebrate life, and exude optimism. So I have met some amazing people. In fact, I've met so many amazing people that I've decided to do something this year different in my business as well, which is to form a brain trust. So I've got some of the most amazing business leaders nationally, really highly successful, esteemed business leaders, looking at my P&L, my profit and loss statements every month, and where I'm spending my money, advising me on all kinds of things. Not only are they collectors, but they're now advisors that are helping me steer this ship on the quest to represent the Colorado art scene the best I can.
Yeah, you keep amping this up, man. You keep amping it up. I love it.
You were talking about the secondary market, selling pieces on the secondary market. Are you acting as your own broker for these pieces that you sold previous? Are you placing them in new homes to people, to buyers that are interested, but that edition has been sold out? How does that work?
The way that it's been working out is people will approach the galleries. So I've had one or two secondary sales with Aspen Art, and Ben and Damien in Aspen have sold a Maroon Bells that someone approached them with, and then at Vail International they sold a couple on the secondary market as well. And they currently have my first interpretation of Vail that's been sold out for 2 or 3 years, available in the gallery on the secondary market. So that's how it's working out. Is I'm not selling them myself.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that. And I was just curious how, when you're talking secondary market, how that operates. So
yeah, it's a lot of gray area. I have been advised to start creating something on my website I just got approached by someone just yesterday for a piece that's not available anymore. And so the Grand Teton National Park painting that's in the Jenny Lake Visitor Center, and so if I were to create another tab on my website for secondary market, that's down the pipeline. But for now, the galleries are my best resource and advocates to sell that. And it's quite cool for collectors to know not only will these paintings be gone forever, but they'll be worth money.
Tenant wants to acknowledge our media sponsor, New Magazine. That's NUE. You can follow both the national and the Denver edition of New Magazine on Instagram. The national edition can be found at new_magazine, and the Denver edition at new_Denver_magazine. And I want to share with you something very exciting. Check out the newly launched New Denver Gallery Guide. Look for the signage that says New Denver Gallery Guide that has a QR code. Scan it with your phone, and you have instant access to a comprehensive digital guide to Denver's finest galleries and exhibitions. Find this QR code in your favorite gallery, hotel, or coffee shop as you visit and explore Denver. Thanks for listening.
I'm Topher Straus, and you're listening to the Tenant Podcast.
You mentioned that you just got a new gallery in your stable of gallery representation. Talk about the new galleries that are representing you since last time we talked.
Well, yeah, I just got my first gallery on the East Coast. It's in Asheville, North Carolina, home of the Biltmore Estate and the Smoky Mountain National Park. It's a resort town, and the gallery is called Momentum Gallery. It's 15,000 square feet. Jordan and the team that run the gallery are just extremely knowledgeable and passionate about art. And the people that I'm surrounded by in that gallery are fantastic artists. And so that just happened. I'm super excited. My first show is going to be in November. And super excited to be a part of the East Coast community. I'm not officially signed with a second gallery very north of there. That's going to happen within the next month. But I'm pushing. I'm now in Colorado, right? And so I'm going to new places. I'm in two galleries, first international galleries in British Columbia. I'm with Whistler Contemporary Gallery, and they've got two spaces, including one at the Four Seasons Hotel and the other at the Fairmont Hotel. Amazing gallery. So it's super exciting. You know, it's a lot of logistics to get paintings internationally when they're not sold yet. I sell a lot of paintings internationally, but it's a whole different game to sell them in galleries and the paperwork and all that. But that's a new gallery. I'm in Crested Butte with RA Modern. And so I just did a new Crested Butte piece. Yeah, so I think I'm in 11 or 12 galleries now. And I am a dreamer. And I would say that even in my wildest dreams, when we first talked 4 years ago, could I imagine what's happening? Or could I have laid out this vision and even started to realize the potential? No. And every year it's more and more amazing things are happening. I'm feeling so blessed. And so I'll continue to get into amazing galleries that are very well curated, surrounded by other outstanding artists. And so that's kind of the vision right there. Where I'll be next year, who knows? But I'm really quite enjoying this journey more than I can even start to express.
So do you have an idea in your head, like how many galleries you want to be in? Because you're building quite a lot of, you have a lot of galleries that you gotta provide work for, right? So is there a point where you're like, okay, I can't really take on any more galleries because I can only produce so much through the course of the year, and you work in editions. So as editions sell, or you have all these galleries, do you feel like at some point you have to put a lid on it?
So Todd, what I need to do is I need to be really exclusive and a connoisseur of the galleries that I decide to sign with. So all the new galleries that I've mentioned, Whistler Contemporary and Momentum Gallery, they're just amazing caliber of gallery, right? You know, there's clauses in the contracts about how far, you can't show within a 250-mile radius. And the more of these amazing higher end galleries that I'm into, they cover a wide area. And so now it's not about volume. It's about quality. And I have to say that my gallery outreach person, she has been doing such a fantastic job of finding the best galleries to represent me. I'll tell you where we're looking right now for galleries, in case someone's listening. I'm looking for the best gallery I can find in Washington, D.C., in Houston, in Dallas, in Austin, in Miami, in New York, San Francisco, and LA and Seattle. That's on my hit list now. So this time next year, we'll see, if I've been able to find amazing galleries to represent me in those locations. But, I'm going to work on getting more international galleries because it is my goal to represent Colorado, in the art and the creative industries the best I can. And I want to be internationally known. That's not just for ego or for legacy, but because I really believe that I view things differently, and I am so proud to be from Colorado and to be one of the many talented artists from this state.
And again, this is where your team comes into play, right? Because as you've grown, as you're getting to more of these phenomenal galleries, somebody's handling that aspect of it so that you can actually produce the work and get the work out to all these galleries that you're now a part of, right?
Totally. It's and so, it's like, Todd, I'm not that smart of a guy, as you can probably tell from this podcast, but I am smart because I surround myself with people that are 50 billion times smarter. That's my secret sauce. I'm really good at painting trees and mountains and creating art. And I can do marketing. I can do sales, but I'm best. And where I'm best at, I'm going to focus, and I'm going to find people that are the best at what they do, and surround myself with as many of these amazing, talented people that I've been fortunate enough to like find and identify. And I'm just grateful, and they know it. And I treat them with respect, and they treat me with respect. And it's another love fest.
So how have you gone about finding these people that are on your team? Because it's not like you just walk out on the street and grab somebody, ask them if they have this particular skill set. How are you able to find these people that are doing such a fantastic job for you?
I do believe in manifesting things. So I talk to people and say, hey, I was talking to my bookkeeper, David, and I'm like, David, I really want to work on finding someone to help me with online marketing. Do you know anyone? And he just had me talk to someone today and put me in touch with him. And so just by asking, right? If you ask, people want to help out. They intrinsically want to help out, and they feel empowered by helping out. So a lot of people I find through referrals, but I'll tell you, the most important person in my organization is Mary Jean. She's taken everything on, and she's made my business so efficient. And, the kind of volume that I'm doing and everything that I'm doing, the most important thing I can do is, besides surrounding myself with people that are smarter than me, is surrounding myself with people I trust. And so Mary Jean is my cousin, and she's amazing. And she's based in Michigan, and she works so hard to make sure that I don't have to deal with all the nuances of the art business. And she's amazing. She talks to the galleries on my behalf, and she coordinates everything. We do a weekly call, and literally, like, I don't know a tenth of what's going on anymore. I just know the big picture stuff because I have her at the helm managing everything for me.
It's amazing. And so people that want to go back and listen to our previous episodes with Topher, if you go to that first episode, he was just starting on this journey a little under 5 years ago. He was working at the Apple store part-time. He was driving Uber and just trying to figure out what direction he was going. He had a plan in place, mind you, because Topher always has a plan in place, but he was just starting on this journey. So if you go and listen to that first episode and hear that interview and then come back, revisit this one, I'm telling you what, man, it's an amazing journey thus far. That's why it's so exciting to talk with you. I tell you what, we will get off this podcast tonight and be levitating a little bit from the good energy, the good vibes that you put out, Topher.
Well, there's a lot of aloha here, so thank you.
I want to talk about some other place that you traveled this year. You went to Japan. Talk a little bit about that trip.
Yeah. Japan is so cool. Let me just say, I'm not loaded. I travel because my mom was a flight attendant, and for me to get on a plane to Japan cost about like $85. So all these trips that I'm doing are because of the hard work that my mom did for 42 years. She worked her ass off to give me the world. And she not only gave me access to the world, but she's given my son Oliver access to the world. So we both travel standby. And I've been to Japan about 20 times. And the first 17 times, I did not get it. I didn't like it. I thought the people were inaccessible, and it was a hard country. And it was a place where I'd go for like 3 or 4 days before going to Hong Kong or somewhere else, right? And then I did a trip with my son Oliver, and all of a sudden Japan opened up to me. And the people were so friendly because I had Oliver and he was a conduit. And I've been back 3 times now with Oliver. This last trip we did was so amazing. Again, it was a last minute decision to take him. Oh, well, we got spring break. Let's do something cool. There's a direct flight on United from Denver to Tokyo to Narita, and it was open. So we went to the airport. We had our passports. We had our carry-on bags. And literally, I crafted this amazing itinerary on the plane ride over. And Oliver and I had the best trip to Japan ever. It was amazing. We started out in Tokyo, and we stayed in a capsule hotel, which is a little like room that you can't. It's just three beds. Each of them is an individual capsule that you enter, and you can't even fully sit up in that capsule. It's just a place to sleep, so that you can have money to do amazing things. And so that's what we did. We did so many amazing things. We got to Japan and we bought a bullet train pass for 2 weeks where we could ride the bullet train anywhere we wanted. So we started up in Tokyo, and we went from Tokyo to Kyoto, which is full of rich history. That is just, it's a beautiful, beautiful, very different from Tokyo. It's so many World Heritage sites there that I'm painting, actually. It's a fantastic place. And then from Kyoto, we went to Osaka, which is my favorite place in all of Japan to go. And we are crafting our way back to Osaka because the food is just dynamite. And I'm working on some Osaka paintings now. And I think the highlight was Oliver and I did a samurai course. When I travel, I like to go off the beaten path, and we did this samurai course, and then we did this cool archery course with an old Buddhist monk in a temple. And while we were there, we barely saw any Americans, but we happened to run into an American who's like, or Canadian who was like, "Guys, do you guys like art?" And we're like, yeah. And they're like, "Well, you need to go to Art Island in Nashimo, which is off the coast of Japan." And I looked it up, and we had to take a bullet train and 3 commuter trains and 2 ferries to get there. But I'll tell you, this island is outstanding, and it's a dream, and I'm putting it out there, and I'm manifesting that someday my art will be on Art Island beside David Hockney's art. And so what Art Island is it's an island that's an old fishing village that's been repurposed to house about 5 different art museums. Each of these art museums has the support of this family, that they're billionaires, and they have built the art museums, and the architecture, the very modern Japanese architecture, is built around the pieces that are permanently housed. So you can only imagine how phenomenal this is. And you bike from museum to museum on the island, and there's sculpture and there's installations and the paintings that are housed in there, and it was the coolest experience ever. I can't wait to get back to Art Island, and hopefully it'll be before I donate a piece, because I am so inspired by Japan and by Asia in general. Asia is just such a muse for me. But the trip to Japan was just cooler than shit, man. It was awesome, and to think that we have a direct flight from Denver to Tokyo is outstanding. And I would say it's. I mean, how do you say your favorite country? But it's definitely far up there, man. It was cool.
Have you ever been to Hiroshima?
Yes, it's close to Art Island. So,
is it really?
Okay. Yeah. That's a pretty amazing place to go. And as Americans, it's definitely a place where you contemplate, your place in the world, as you should wherever you visit in the world, right?
Yeah, it's a beautiful city and people are just amazing. And I was there in the 80s, so it's changed maybe a little bit, but people are just amazing there. I loved it.
Yeah. The Japanese people are just some of the finest people in the world. It's hard to connect with them because most Japanese do not speak a lick of English. It's a very difficult languages to go from one to the other. So, but you get lost in Tokyo and someone sees that you're lost, and they will walk you to where you're going, even if it takes an hour and a half.
Yeah, I believe
they're amazing.
Yeah.
So obviously, like, travel inspires so much of my art. Experience does, right? So.
Yeah, I've always said that travel is one of the best educations you can get. I mean, it teaches you so much about yourself and the world. And you come away from a better person, especially really throwing yourself in an environment where you can't speak the language. And it's one thing to travel to someplace like Europe for Americans where there's some semblance of our culture, I guess. But you travel someplace like Asia where it's completely different and traditions and everything are foreign to us. I think it really probably teaches you a lot. I haven't been to Asia. I would love to go though sometime.
I think you would love it. And I am gonna, this time next year, I'll probably have a pop-up show of all my Asian themed work in I'm thinking either San Francisco or LA, within the US. But the new work inspired by all these trips is really phenomenal. I don't think it's right for Colorado, but I need a more global audience. So that's going to happen next year.
Yeah, man. I'm glad you're already thinking about that.
Oh, I have a 5-year plan.
Oh, I know you do. Because you're a goal setter, man. What about BC? Would that be a place where you could show some of that work? Because it's a pretty multicultural place, is it not?
Yeah, so I have a gallery in British Columbia. There's definitely a lot of folks from Asia over there, from Hong Kong and such. And so I'll approach them when I have more to show. But to be honest, within the ski communities, it's the ski work that's really popular. So if I were to show in maybe Toronto or Vancouver or that would be probably more appropriate, or better yet, I'm talking to some galleries in Ho Chi Minh City, and I'll be talking to galleries in Japan and South Korea in about 2 years, I think. So
nice.
So there will be a place for this art, and the art's really cool and different, very portrait and figurative and abstract and fun and loose.
Well, I definitely, and it's not like I don't look at your stuff throughout the year, but again, I'm not on your website all the time. And I definitely see the growth and the exploration that has happened in the past year. It seems like you're really showing some serious growth in all these different areas. Like you're really spreading your wings and trying a lot of different stuff. And I love seeing that from an artist.
Thank you. There's got to be that fine line, right? Like if you're in the news section of my website, you'll see it's primarily landscapes, but then I also have a triptych of Ganesh, the Hindi god, and so every so once in a while I can go off and do something completely different. But I think as an artist, it's important if you've created a visual style and you've got a following for that style, I'm not gonna stray too much away from it, and I'll incorporate the grammar, if you will, from what the visual painting and the visuals that I've created. The grammar has to continue throughout the work, while also there has to be exploration and evolution. So it's a fine line, but I'm always trying to walk the line like Johnny Cash.
So is it fun to go explore these other bodies of work and then come back to the landscape? Does it bring something back to that work?
Yeah, like I'm working on a new 747 painting, right? And I'm teetering between that and doing a painting inspired by water in Hawaii. I basically will get to a point. I'm usually working on about maybe 7 or 8 paintings at a time, and I'll just kind of listen to my soul and decide when it's time to start working on something, switch the style in the painting. But by doing fresh new things and sculpture and all the things that I'm kind of getting into, it definitely keeps things fresh and innovative.
Last year when we talked, you were doing some workshops or some mastermind. You still doing that, or did you have to put that to the side for a little bit?
I was teaching classes in Australia and in Canada, and I've since had to put all that on the back burner just because now I'm not just responsible for me and Oliver, my son. I'm responsible for, I've got a team of about 12 people that are helping me out in various ways, that I need to make sure I'm making enough money. So that was awesome. I really loved teaching and instilling the notion of philanthropy for artists and teaching artists how to market. Doesn't say I won't ever go back to that. I do like doing panels, and I do panels every once in a while. In fact, I've got a panel coming up next week about artificial intelligence. And so panels are cool, but I can't teach right now due to my schedule.
Sure.
I have to be really smart about where I spend my time.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Yeah.
I love a bunch of this new work that I'm seeing on your website. And we talked about a couple of these pieces already. A couple pieces that I want to mention. Park City Glow, fabulous, man. Telluride Twilight, that piece is out of this freaking world. And I love Champagne. I mean, all 3 of those, totally stellar. Totally stellar.
How do you capture a ski town? Well, I wanted to do it different than I did for Vail and for others in Winter Park and other ski towns that I've done. So by incorporating that kind of those colors and that helps. It's delicious yumminess and it's doing quite well. I forgot to mention I'm also in a gallery in Park City, Utah. Fantastic gallery called the Meyer Gallery. They're doing awesome for me, and folks are loving this Park City Glow piece. And my Telluride gallery, they're doing fantastic for me. Slate Grays, I love being a part of Slate Gray, and that new Telluride Twilight piece is very popular. It's just I love what I do. I feel blessed to be able to be creative, and I'm grateful for every moment that I can do it.
The style has evolved since we first started talking to you. I love, again, the exploration and the sophistication that these pieces exude. I mean, it's really just, I can't say enough about it, man. Aspen Lights, another spectacular piece. How's that done as far as a piece? Has that been selling?
Yeah, the original sold within 3 minutes of release. And actually, and that's been a trend with a lot of my recent work. Actually, it's pretty amazing. I'm selling quite a bit more originals. So the bells, for example, right? I sold 10 limited editions from a blurred image of just the bells because I've established my collectors that I understand color and composition, and they like my work. So before anyone even saw it, I had sold a fourth of the limited editions.
Wow. All from that teaser that you did? I saw that teaser, I believe, the blurred out piece.
Yeah, all from that.
That's crazy, man. Good for you. That's awesome. Any particular piece that you just absolutely love? I mean, obviously you have a connection to every single one, but anything that you're really ultra proud of that you've produced this past year that you're just like, I love that piece.
You know, my story, because you guys have heard my story over the years, but although I've just started showing my work the last 5 years, prior to that, I kept my work very private, right? And over the course of 30 years, when people come over to my house, I would take down my paintings because I wasn't ready to share my heart and soul. And since I've started sharing my work publicly, I started to fall in love with my work. And I adore what I'm doing, and I'm proud of the work that I'm doing, and I'm not afraid to show it. And, you know, there's a time and a place and a moment for when you're ready, and it's okay if you're not ready. You can trust that that moment will reveal itself, and it has. And I love all my work. The new pieces that I'm most proud of, I mean, I'm really proud just this week. Because at the end of every month, I release 2 new paintings. So I'm really proud of the 2 new paintings that I just completed. Joshua Tree, I've been working on and throwing that away for about 3 years. It's one of our nation's most popular parks. And so I've been trying to figure out how the hell do I do Joshua Tree? Like, how do I convey the magic of the trees? And if you check it out and like dive deep and imagine the scale, these things it's 90 inches tall by 45 inches wide. So it's huge. And the detail is crazy, and the intertwining of the Joshua Tree. And so I'm really proud of like being tenacious and not giving up on that. But I'd say one of the most newer paintings that I've done that I'm really proud of, that's really unique and extremely complex, is called Summer Aspen. And it's stunning. It's really complex. And from a technical and, perspective, and from a maturing artist perspective, the evolution from, say, one of my first national park paintings like Glacier National Park or Zion National Park is tremendous. Summer Aspen it's like, sometimes I do these paintings, guys, that almost force me to the point of insanity. Not from a bad perspective, but from the perspective of, before I go to sleep while I'm working on these paintings, I'm like, how the heck am I going to do this? And it haunts my head until it's done. And this painting it's just so different. What do you guys think of that one?
Oh my God. It's amazing. It's so intricate. There's so many pieces to that, and it's so well done. Composition wise too. I just love it. Todd?
I second what Wes said. I also love the fact that it's a little bit of a kind of messes with your head just a little bit because of the layers, almost has somewhat of a psychedelic feel to it because of the way it's layered. And I love that. It's the palette, very stunning, man.
And I appreciate that. And you guys can be honest with me. So I know you're not blowing smoke on my ass. So, like so many artists paint aspen trees, and I wanted to do it in a way that no one's ever done it before. And so hopefully I accomplished that. It's complex, and I'm proud of that.
Yeah. The other thing I love about it is you feel like you're lost in the woods. Like, I can't even imagine size wise, the special edition is 36 by 72. Just looking at that, in person has got to be, you just get lost in it. and that's what I feel is like you're lost in the woods, but man, you don't, but it's so comforting at the same time,
Yeah, I got lost in that sucker. That was a beast of a painting. And for me, and all these new paintings that we've talked about are still complex and take so much of my, my mindset and my energy that I could not do these without the folks that are helping me with all kinds of things. It's pretty amazing. And that's how my work has matured, because I do my craft every day, but also because I'm able to focus my mind on just my work and my painting.
So I love to know how big files are. How big was the files on these? They're just huge, right? I can't even imagine.
The Summer Aspen was 65 gigabytes.
Crazy.
Yeah, I'm pushing the boundaries of technology, and when new technology comes out, I'll always be pushing. And that's what I do. I like to explore the limits of what can and can't be done. And if it can't be done, then by damn it, I'm going to find a way to do it.
Right.
What's spectacular about it is I'm looking at on a computer screen, and like what Wes said, as far as like seeing it in person, I can't even imagine, because usually when you see artwork on a computer screen, right, it really just doesn't do it justice. But this thing has it's like a breathing piece. I feel like as you were talking right at that moment, there's so many different layers, and it actually is like, it was like sucking me in. Like I love how you have these very sharp elements with the blurred out elements, and then you're like, oh, there's leaves in there, oh, those are, you can see the trunks right off, but then the gradation of colors and the palette that you used. And actually I looked over at one point, because I was looking at this you talking, and I looked back, and you have these elements in the trees not too far away, and they're black. And on the right-hand side, there was a shape that was just enough that I was like, wait, is that a bear walking through the woods? I mean, that's what I'm talking about as far as like the mind, like working and taking you to another place. I don't think that's a bear the more I look at it, but the shape was enough, and it was compelling enough and pulling me in that I was like, wait, is there an animal walking through there? I'm not really sure. I got to look at it a little bit closer. So well done, man.
Thank you. Art should be an exploration, right? And it should get your imagination going. So that's cool.
It just takes you to a different place. I mean, it's easy to look at some of these other pieces and just, you can easily wrap your head around it. But this is a piece that really just kind of sucks you in. And I do want to see this in person. What galleries currently carry this? Just Aspen or?
Yeah, this is an exclusive for this summer for Aspen Fine Art, which is located on Hayman Street, the main street in downtown Aspen. So that is the only place to see it.
Okay. Guess I have to go to Aspen. Want to go to Aspen, Wes?
Oh, darn. Aspen is amazing, guys. I love that.
I know.
I do love Aspen.
We have a couple of friends that live there, and we get a place to stay, I think, if we go up there.
That's true. At least pretty close.
That's right.
I love this other exploration that I don't believe I've seen before. It's got to be new. The photo collages, new stuff.
Yeah, actually, those are old. That's right when we first started talking 5 years ago. That was the work that I was doing, and I've just decided to start releasing some of my older work. And I'm actually working on new photo collages right now as well. But those are on metal. Those look just brilliant and beautiful. Those have shown earlier on when I first started my career.
I really like these, man. Like I really dig these. When I pulled this up, when I was exploring the website and seeing what was new, I was like, man, this is cool stuff. Never seen this before, I don't think.
And there's a whole bunch of new square size pieces, right? Like, so I'm known for my limited edition sizes. They're 30 by 60, that 2-to-1 ratio. And I decided I need to do some other form factors. So I've got a lot of square pieces, and I'm working on a lot of square pieces. In fact, Todd, thanks to your gentle nudge, I'm gonna complete my San Diego photo collage that I'm working on right now. But yeah, it's I'm trying to get different form factors, different ideas, and photography is very much a part of my process, right? So
Yeah, I love these things, man. These are cool.
thanks.
And I love how you mix up long pieces, long verticals with your horizontals. Now you're doing triptychs and then the square format. You really are offering, you're hitting a little bit of everything for people. Like if you're looking for a specific shape, size, you offer it, which is again really smart.
Yeah.
Oh, that's to the guidance of my board. So
if I was an interior designer looking for art for a client's house, especially here in Colorado, even elsewhere, but seriously, like you offer a little bit of everything and there's something for everyone in there, just got to spend a little time with it. And speaking of that, I read that you were the winner of the Design With Us competition for your piece, Telluride Twilight. Talk about that.
That was really cool. There's an amazing friend and interior designer, Dawn, who has a company that's based in Colorado and Seattle called Four Walls Design. And Dawn is awesome. She loves the outdoors. Her and her husband go in their Sprinter van and they play outside and do backcountry skiing. And we originally met at a Lux magazine event and became friends. And she submitted me to this really interesting design competition where the winner of the submitted piece gets a tile piece that's made to look like the painting, which I'm actually going to be picking up very soon. But that was cool. That was a really cool honor and something that I wouldn't have done had it not been for Dawn and encouraging me to do that. So, one thing I have learned, guys, is entertain, yes. Don't always say yes, but entertain it, right? Like, had it not been for me saying yes, then I wouldn't be doing landscapes. Had it not been for me saying yes, then I would not have done so much in my life. But you also have to be smart, and as time dissipates and becomes more sacred, you have to be smart about where you spend your time and energy. So I'm glad that I said yes on going to do this one, and it was quite I was out of town at the time when we won. I forgot. I think I was in Jan, and it was quite cool to win that award. Then to see it like in a new form factor.
And it turned out really cool. If you go to the news and updates, if you scroll through the different news stories, they talk about the competition and they have a picture of this glass mosaic that was made. I thought it was phenomenal, man. I love the piece to begin with, but it's just cool to see it as a mosaic,
Yeah, it is cool. So I might be working with them to do more of that, but we'll see. Got to be selective, right? Be smart.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah. What would be the deciding factor, some of the deciding factors of whether or not you would go in that direction and offer some of your pieces in that way?
I think like I have worked so hard to make sure that my pieces are special to my collectors. And so if I were to do something like this on a commercial scale, would that degrade my brand and my reputation? This was a one-off thing, an event for charity. I might even auction this piece off at a charity event to raise money, but I have to be very selective about the marketing that I do. For example, I just put my Palisade piece on the wine bottle, and it's super cool. The only reason that I did that is because I'm not getting a penny from that effort. It's all going to Food Bank of the Rockies. So if I market my work and it goes on to commercial items, then it has to be for a nonprofit. That's where I draw the line.
I like how thoughtful you are in your branding, and I think artists should take away from that. Like, you need to really think about yourself as a brand, and you need to be very thoughtful in it.
Yeah, you do.
That's a cool bottle, man.
Yeah, so I'm holding up the wine bottle right now, and it's Mount Garfield and Palisade, and it's got this like super shiny, cool, uh, iridescent like material on cutout. And another thing that we're doing with this wine bottle that I do with all my stuff, right? I did a hat with Yo Colorado that raised money to help fight food insecurity, and all the things that I do are limited editions, and they sell out within a year. So this bottle, there's only 675 of these available, and so I do that with everything that I do in terms of like hats or the wine bottle. My first wine completely sold out in less than a year. So that's another way that I'm cognizant of my brand. It's exclusive no matter what. It's in scarcity.
And that particular wine, can it only be found at the winery? Can you order it online? Where can you pick it up?
You can order it online, and it ships all over the country. You can go to the vineyard, which is an amazing experience in Palisade. It's Sauvage Spectrum Winery. They're an amazing vineyard. This wine is very sold. It's a gold-winning, a gold medal wine that won the Governor's Cup. And you can buy it anywhere in the country and they ship all over. So SauvageSpectrum.com, and you can buy it. And for each bottle of this wine you drink, you can drink it knowing that you fed 10 people, 10 meals for each bottle. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool, man. You talked about consistency of your brand. What else has remained consistent over the last almost 5 years? Talk about things that have a proven track record and that you continue to apply to your business model.
First and foremost, I think it's integrity is like at the forefront of my brand and who I want to be. I want to be authentic and have integrity. And so that's been my compass throughout this whole journey. And that's definitely been not only advantageous to my business, but also advantageous to my moral soul, right? In terms of my business, what's really worked is the way that I've expanded and the galleries that I've chosen. I only work with galleries that I really, I can enjoy the people that work there, and they also have integrity. So being very smart and strategic about who I work with, whether it be a gallery or whether it be someone who does marketing, right? Like, or whether it be a podcast that I love to go on. It's surrounding yourself with people that you love and admire. Like you two, you guys, I really savor and love my time with you on this podcast. And I really admire you both for all that you do for the art community. And so the more that you can surround yourself with great people, the better off you're going to be, and the better off your business is going to be.
You talked about goals earlier, that you have 5-year goals. What are some of those goals? And then talk about what are your short-term goals for this next year?
All right. So I was told I can't talk about the biggest goal that's going to happen this year. But what I can say is that it's extremely exciting, and it will help to propel me even greater to a national market. So this time next year, we'll be talking a lot about kind of either what's been started or what's already happening. So I'll tease that. But in terms of like next year goals, I'm going to be doing, focusing in my creative work on getting through I'll be done through about 45 or 50 national parks this time next year. I'll try to do maybe about 10 of them. So we'll see where I'm at. Wes, I am going to hit you up when I come to Badlands. Don't worry. I think about that a lot.
Hey, the good news is the basement is finished and ready for you.
Good.
So you have a private place for you to, with a bathroom and the whole 9 yards. So it's ready for you.
Awesome. Well, I will look forward to coming out and seeing you out there and meeting your wife and painting Badlands, man, and having Oliver along for the ride. So I'm going to paint more national parks. I'd like to be in, 2 to 3 major cities in the U.S., either on the East Coast or the West Coast this time next year. I'd like to continue to work with charities and find good organizations to work with and continue to have my purpose and my 5-year goals. Well, I'm still working on my book. And it's coming along, and, it's called Aloha Love. And it's really been an amazing experience writing it through first starting out as an artist and what Aloha meant to me. And then what Aloha meant to me during the pandemic and writing about the pandemic. And now what Aloha means to me after witnessing the fires in Maui. And this book is really, it's coming along, and the things that I'm talking about have changed quite a bit, and it's a neat process, and it's fun to work on it alongside my paintings, and it really helps my paintings, right? And so that's definitely a big part of my 5-year goal, and I'd like to have my sculptures started in 5 years. I'm also exploring jewelry and starting a jewelry line, luxury jewelry line, and that will be hopefully launched within 5 years. But talking to some pretty successful folks within the international jewelry scene about that. How do I incorporate my landscapes into jewelry? So I'm working on that. Yeah, I think what I've learned in this journey, it's been magical, is that as much of a plan as I have, and as wild as my dreams may be, and as vivid as they are and inspiring, I don't know the magic that lays ahead of me. I can't even start to fathom all the cool things that are going to manifest. What I do know is that in order to have the world open to it, I need to keep my heart open and be grateful and humble for every moment that I have. And so, my goals, although I do have goals and I am an achiever, I also understand that I'm human and I make mistakes, and sometimes I don't meet my goals, or my goals can change, and that's okay. As long as I'm every step of the way checking in with myself, making sure that I'm the artist, the individual, the father, the son that I want to be, that's what makes me most proud.
Right on.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to mention, talk about, promote that you have coming up?
I guess what I'd like to say is that as artists, we are warriors, and we have a responsibility to not only help out our community, but to get our community thinking about thoughts. And it's such a gift to be an artist. And I just encourage anyone that's listening to this podcast to help form a community of us that want to uplift each other and help each other out. And it's all about community. That's what we learned in COVID, and that's what I'm learning more and more every day. So, speak up, speak loudly, find your passion, and put it on your canvas, put it in your jewelry, put it in whatever your medium is, but put it out there. And if you're not ready to put it out there yet, just understand that's okay, because that's where you are. And I'm just really, feel good about life and about where I'm at and about the community of people that I'm lucky enough to be around.
Topher, I love talking to you every year. You're uplifting. And when I think of artists that are bold, you're up there, because what you bring to the table is passion, vision, and, your tenacity. And the sky's the limit with you, dude. And we just love watching the journey that you've been on. And we continue to, continue to be excited to watch your journey as you move forward too. So, man, thank you for spending this time with us. I really do appreciate it.
This is so much fun, guys, and I'm looking forward to our conversation next year and see what's evolved and transpired and all the things that we've learned and unlearned.
There you go. That's true. That's true.
Oh man. Man, it's always a pleasure to talk with you. It's always exciting. It's always fun. And like I said earlier in the podcast, after we all sign off tonight, Wes and I will be levitating for a while because you're always putting out those good vibes, man. So I appreciate you. I appreciate what you do with your art, with your charity work, lifting up the communities in and around Denver, and keep doing what you're doing, man.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. I sure had a heck of a good time. Tomorrow's my birthday. I'm going to be 49 years old.
That's awesome, man.
Wow.
49 years young.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Happy birthday, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. Are you going to sing me happy birthday?
Oh, we could sing.
Oh, do you want us
birthday.
to sing happy birthday?
I can do that.
Let's do it, Wes.
Nothing more.
This is the let me get my voice ready. We've never sang happy birthday to anybody on the podcast. You will be the first.
And maybe the last. So we might get canceled after this. Who knows?
All right.
You ready?
Are you ready, Wes Brown?
Let's do it.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
You know, I wish people could see my smile right now. Thank you.
That was fun.
That was fun. We'll have to do that more often.
That's right.
Yeah. You just started a new tradition, Topher. We got to hit you on your birthday every year. Remember, you can follow Topher on Instagram at Creative Topher and check out Topher's work at his website, topherstraus.com. Remember, you can find all this information and more in this week's episode notes. For the Tenant Podcast, I'm Todd Pearson.
And I'm Wes Brown.
Have a great week.
Guys, we're not trying to stuff a chicken. We're trying to feed a pony.